Okay, today we're going to make some summer sausage, and the first step we're going to do is take some of our mahogany casings here. We have some high mountain mahogany casings. They're fibrous, they're pretty nice, and I think they're going to perform very well. They're 2-inch, 20 inches long, fibrous casings. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in water and let those soak while I go ahead and start grinding my meat and getting my sausage ready. We're going to do a 20% fat mix to 80% venison. I'm going to do 5 pounds today. That's what my mix calls for, so I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side. I also have some the summer sausage mix. It's already got the cure in it and everything, so it's ready to go. The seasoning is really nice. It's one of your name brand ones. You can use anyone you want, or look up a recipe. That'll be great, but this is just a summer sausage mix. I'm just cutting up my meat. I like to soak it. If I'm gonna do a cut like this or do a sausage like this, then I like to soak it in a little bit of salt water and vinegar for a couple of days in the refrigerator before I cut it up and grind it, because it just takes the game flavor out, any game flavor that may be, and it tenderizes the meat. This meat is like filet mignon right now. It's really tender. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and start. I got my meat cut up. I've weighed it out. Just use a little scale. Like in this case, I have my I weighed out my meat. You have to make sure that when you measure your meat or weigh your meat, that you include the amount of sausage that you're going to use for your total amount, because the amount of seasoning is for the total amount of meat, not just the venison, and then add the sausage. In this case, I'm going to be using some Bob Evans premium cut pork sausage. It's pretty straightforward. It has a lot of fat in it, so in that case, it's going to help out a lot with moistening my meat. And then I'm going to go ahead and use that 1 pound to my 4 pounds of venison, and then that's going to make 5 pounds of meat, which is what my seasoning calls for. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and prep our mix. We have to hydrate the mix basically by mixing the powder with a little bit of water, and we're going to make it into like a slurry. And then we're going to add that into the meat, stuff it in the casings with our stuffer, and then that's going to go ahead and go into the refrigerator. And we're going to leave that overnight, and that's going to help to kind of solidify the whole thing so it turns into a nice solid log. So once you smoke it, or cook it or bake it, however you choose to cure it, then it's going to stay together, so it stays into a log and doesn't fall apart. And it's mostly salt and sodium nitrate. That's going to help your meat to stay edible, to cure it and make it edible. And I'm going to just stir in my seasonings. And like I said, it's going to turn into like a little slurry there. And then we can add that right into the meat. Now you want your meat to be a little bit loose and fluid, so it will flow through your stuffer a little bit better. Because the recipe did not call for knuckle hairs, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some gloves for this next step, and I'm going to add that right into my meat mixture here. Now you want to make sure that you get all of that cure out of there, because it's a certain amount. It's measured by volume to the meat, so you won't have too little cure, and then you'll end up not having your meat cure right, and then you can eat something that may not be healthy for you. Once I have my casing here ready, I'm gonna feed that on. You want to make sure that your casing isn't too tight, because you don't want to put pressure on the end there, because it'll blow the end out of the casing. So you wait until your sausage gets to the end. Okay. And I'm going to start filling it up. And slow it down some. Make sure it's really good and tight in there. And now you have one sausage casing, and then I'll grab the head and turn it, and then I'll put my tie on the end, or hog rein. Now go ahead and let this sit in the refrigerator.
Alright mates, we got my barbie fired up here, so we're gonna go ahead and start them on and throw these sausages on there. Alright. So I got my sausage here. It's set overnight, and it's gotten a little bit more firm, but it's gonna really firm up once we get that on the smoker here. I'm gonna start them more to the left side, away from my fire. Put my pan in there. I'm gonna do a minion method, but right now I have my pan, and I'm gonna put that down into there so it'll direct that fire away from it. And that's gonna keep my fire from burning my meat. So a little bit later on, once it starts to get dehydrated there, I'm going to put some water down in there. That's going to help. It's smoking away now. In about another 30 minutes or so, it'll calm down, and the fire will settle down, and should be good. Now while the sausage is almost about done, I just checked the temperature, and it was 165 on one end, but the other end is just a little under 150. So I turned it around, flipped it over, and gave it a little bit more time. So while that's heating up and coming up to temperature, I'm just going to go ahead and fill up my sink with cold water. So it's actually going to, I'm going to dump it right into there and stop the cooking process. Okay, and here we have it right off the smoker. I checked the temperature. It's 165. We're going to dump it in some ice water here to halt the cooking process. Now don't be alarmed. Yes, that's a mahogany casing. Usually you can get them a little bit lighter than that, but I have a true smoker and not a upright smoker or a cold smoker. This is a hot smoker. So it works by using true hot smoke instead of a low smoke. You can get a low smoker that'll smoke right around 150 or so, and that's a cold smoking instead of a hot smoking. Gonna go ahead and take it out of the casing. It's actually shrunk some. I'm gonna slice me a bit up because I know I'm gonna eat this. Oh yeah. Okay. Look at that. It's nice and red like it's supposed to be. Got some crackers here, and I'm gonna slice this up a bit. Now when it dries, it'll turn back into a nice little paper, and you can store it after that. So I got a nice piece of my meat there, and got a little cracker to go with that. Oh yeah. It's a delicious smoke flavor. You know, it's something that's well worth the time. You guys try it out, and it's so easy to do. All right, until the next video, here you go.